right, welcome to On My Block Podcast and Green Bay Packer Podcast. I'm your host, Amon Green, along with my good friend and teammate Mike Wall. Man, Mike, how you doing?
AG, I'm doing good, bud. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Saw a lot of the guys this weekend. It was a big weekend for our old teammates to come back in.
Is this the alumni? One of the alumni weeks?
No, it just happened to look like that.
Everybody. Well, it's probably one of those games everybody planned to come up for.
Right.
Because at the beginning of the season, it was going to be a good game.
Right. So we had half the line. We had Marco, Big Cliffy. I haven't seen Cliffy in a minute.
I was going to say, I can't believe you got Cliffy up there.
Cliffy, yeah, he was here last year. I missed him though. And then
he's hard. Is he still hard to miss?
Yeah, he's hard to miss. He goes that big chin, a little thicker up top in the chest area. And you remember Jason Jimenez, the big guard from Southern Miss. He was there. Yeah, he's a assist. He's a principal down in our Orlando area.
Oh, that's cool.
He brought his son. He has a son and a daughter. His son is the oldest. He's a freshman in high school. Good sized kid, and his daughter is a 7th grader. So got caught up with those guys. And then usual suspects: Gilbert, Dorsey, Andre, Mr. Bad Moon Rising. He was there.
I haven't seen that guy in a minute.
Yeah, Jason Spitz. You were after him. You were before him. He was after you for a bit. He was there with his kid and wife. So yeah, it was a good little shindig in the alumni suite this weekend.
I'm glad they won.
Yeah.
So there wouldn't be a. Well, I've only been up there once, I think.
Yeah.
But when you're sitting up there, do people pay enough attention to the game that they're, especially in the season like this, where they're like, geez, I mean,
yeah,
God, when I was there, I could have left over,
Yeah, you got like Antonio, he's on the spot. He gives you fresh emotions right there. When something good or bad happens, he's like telling everybody off. What the hell's going on? What the coach is doing? What kind of throw was that? Or why he didn't catch that ball?
Receivers are the best content.
Yes,
they're the best content machines.
And him and Andre were sounding off, so we just kind of let them do the talk. Me and Chad talked a lot, and it was me, Chad, and Marco all just kind of watching, and then we were talking like we were talking. All missed a little cut back there, or the block didn't get solidified, this, that, and the other among the guys. So that was our talk. So let me get into our sponsor read real quick with BetOnline. So Best Ball is back, and BetOnline remains our number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. So you'll always find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. And as your continued source for all sports wagering information, BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and giveaways all season long. So always the fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite sports and events, whether it's NFL, which is going to be a lot of good bets coming up because we got playoff coming up, and NBA, NHL, MMA, tennis, boxing, esports, and even golf. So head to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus for your first deposit. Make sure you use the promo code, though, BLEAV, BELIEVE, to receive those awards. So BetOnline, Mike, where the game starts. And so the game started pretty good for those Pack and ended well. Had a couple, defensive sequences where they had some life going. Zaire, so you got here later in the chat talking about Zaire and his gameplay. But it was just something that the team is now, what I saw was they still show where they're at in the season, but then showed a little shiny light of
played against two bad teams in the last 2 weeks. Is that what you're saying?
Basically that.
Just call it. Yeah. Somebody asked me this morning. They're like, "So what's the difference?" And you're digging for content, right? Yeah. But it's like, what's the difference between this in the last 2 games? This momentum. I'm like, they played 2 bad teams. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, they're kind of even there.
They'll play a couple good teams here coming up, and listen, it's hard to win in the National Football League. We covered the spread, so that's a win. It was 24-12. So we covered the spread, maybe the first time all year.
Yep.
So, and there's a lot of good things that are happening from individual players. But when you look at the totality of the game, and you look at, listen, that Rams offense. The Broncos offense is bad. That Rams offense is bad.
It's brutal. It's brutal.
And what was nuts last night to me was as much of a master as Sean McVay is with disguising, spreading the field, and using, dude, that was the most. It's not cookie cutter because they do some different stuff, but we talked about it in our preview. What are they going to try to do with Baker Mayfield? Under center play action pass, right? A couple of misdirection plays. It was literally like every single play after the first quarter, you could pretty much just by where Baker lined up, you could kind of figure out what it was going to be. If you wanted other players, like, are they going to hand this ball out? Like, our linebackers weren't fooled after maybe the first quarter, as far as like under center play, it just didn't work. No. And it's one of the few times where you're like, man, I can watch the Sean McVay offense, and it's because they don't have the full complement of plays, but you can watch this offense and they don't have players.
Right? Yeah, the players too. Right? It's like offensively and defensively, right?
But they just, man, that was just that's some bad ball. That was some bad ball.
It showed where Baker's time in that locker room and studying that playbook. Where last week it was just it lined up for the plays to happen the way they did for them to get that win with Baker. 2 days of being on the team and being in LA to now you got a full week and now you're processing everything from audibles to change the formations. If you find out if it's man to zone, and then you're facing against the Packer teams from a part of they are still going to prepare, regardless of what the record is, they're professional. So we're able to prepare enough to say, okay, Baker, he only knows so much. And that's what it made it look like. On that football field. And it was the product of to him not knowing exactly where to go on some plays, but then having all that information being thrown at him in the last week from McVay and his offensive formations that he usually comes out in when they have a healthy quarterback and healthy offense that has the potency of the players they have, like Cooper Kupp not being out there and other players as well. So. Yeah,
their offensive line sucks too. I mean, they suck. I mean, listen, they're professional athletes and look, they are not good. And I mean, the Green Bay Packers had 24 sacks going into the game last night, which is not a big number.
No.
And they had five. They had 5 sacks last night. And like Preston's. Let's just start. I want to start the show by saying this. Preston Smith is our MVP right now 100%. On defense. There's been nobody this year who's played as well consistently as Preston Smith.
And key word is consistency.
Do you agree with that?
Agree. I saw the 3 or 4 plays series at the end of the game where it was just all him stopping the run or making it a problem for them to run the ball. And he was brought in to sack quarterbacks, but he's doing his full complement of jobs that a linebacker, outside linebacker, a defender has to do. And he did that. And he's been doing it all year long.
He's been doing it. And at some point last year, AG, he was like the number 1 rated, BS, statistically best rated edge player against the run.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what he is this year, man. He is just such a force of nature on the edge against the run. And then you just see what happens when you're playing against bad offensive linemen. Their right tackle is the only guy that name you'd even recognize on their team. And he just abused the hell out of him last night. Like, it wasn't the 2 sacks because one of the sacks was actually the running back. Like, literally, we're going to see it. But dude, when the running back runs into the tackle, there ain't nobody madder in the world than that tackle.
I learned that day one in Seattle. And then when I came here, I think it did it one time. It might have been you or Marco.
It only takes one, bro. It only takes one.
And y'all give me that look like, that kill me. I'm gonna kill you. You do that.
Well, it was bad then, but now, they got ESPN. They're showing him get his ass. He's like, dude, he didn't even lose. He did lose, but it just adds to it.
It adds to it.
But he had at least three pressures, and aside from the 2 sacks, I mean, he's just playing. He's playing at such a high level. It's fun to watch. They're still giving up even the first series, man. They're giving up 3rd and 17, 3rd and 13. They're playing off. Rasul's playing press. He gives up 3rd and 13 to Van Jefferson in the 3rd quarter. You see all this stuff, and you go, okay, there's some good. The young guys are playing well. You see Devontae White and Enagbare, Collins. They all combined for. They had every one of these players had a sack last night, right?
Yep.
Quay Walker had a sack. Devontae White and Hollins combined for a sack, and Enagbare had a sack. So there's 4 guys, really, counting Hollins, the first-year guys here. 3 of them were drafted here, that you just go, okay, well, we've got guys contributing so that you can see into the future. But there's still some stuff that you're just, even with that team, you're like, man, Akers was going off early in the game.
Yeah, he had his
tackles. They're opening holes, blah, 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 blah. So there's some good and bad certainly to look at, but It keeps you in the dance, man. We got a 12% chance of winning. I went up for 9%.
Oh, it actually went up. Okay.
Yeah, I thought it went down. I thought it went down, but it
Me too.
actually went
I thought
up.
it
I
went
just heard
down.
it went up. Yeah, it went up
Okay.
to 12, which is like 1 out of 8. Which
Okay.
shoot, man, I'll take that.
Yeah, I'll take that odds from where they've been at all season long, having from the injuries to the missed calls and just not good gameplay, overall to be in this situation to still have a chance where you basically got to fight to win these next 3 games. And now that we'll talk about later this week, but they'll be on the road in Miami against the Dolphins for Christmas Day game. So that's going to be the next step for them in this whole process. But back to this game, so go ahead.
I was going to say, think about these. Listen to these stats. This is the LA Rams. This is the Super Bowl champion LA Rams.
Yes, I know.
Mayfield, 12 for 21 for 84 yards, 1 TD, 1 pick.
Yep.
The team rushed 12 rushes for 72 yards. Like, just start doing the math, man. That's not a lot of plays.
Yeah.
So 5 sacks, so 36 or 27 dropbacks, or 26 dropbacks.
Yeah.
12 rushes. That's it for plays. That's less than 50 plays. Cam Akers, 12 for 65, and then he disappears. 12 for 65 is like a great average.
That's
not a good average, a great average.
Right. That's a good day.
That's over 5 a carry. It's like 0.3 a carry. 8 penalties. This is really the stat of the game. 8 penalties for the Rams for 76 yards. And it just first downs all over the board, right? They get a first down, they take it away. They make stops on defense. They had a sack, they gave it up. Ramsey's got the holding call in the end zone. I mean, there was a lot of calls on both sides where you're like, dude, stop. Just put your flag back in your pocket. We don't care. Even though they're going to Green Bay, it doesn't.
Right.
At some point, we just want to see ball, man. We don't want to see the refs on every single. Sean Nixon's deal against 53. The guy who was on his case about what's his name.
53 for us for defense.
Yeah, Jonathan Garvin.
Oh, okay.
I'm always on his case about playing outside linebacker. Dude, he got this holding call yesterday. You're like, dude, are you really going to call that in a National Football League game? That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Wipes out Nixon's like 50-yard return. By the way, is that guy the best player on the team now?
Oh, Nixon. Yeah.
I mean, not literally, but like.
But he's he's definitely
our
one
whole
of them.
offense.
Yeah,
he's our offense.
Yeah, getting them downfield, better field position on that big kickoff return there. So
hey, you were talking about Jair Alexander at the beginning.
Yeah.
What did you see? Why did you bring him up?
No, I just brought him up because he was in the mix a lot, dealing with Van Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had he forced a fumble or interception, one of the two. I know what's his name? Jalen ripped the ball out of, I think it was
Jalen's
AJ.
man.
Yeah, but no, I was just seeing Alexander just being Johnny on the spot on a few series in the first half. And in the second half, I was just kind of in conversation with all the guys. So that's where I was like, I was trying to watch it, but first half I was able to key in on it and see some of the plays he was in on, some of the tackles he was in on coming from the first half.
So they obviously announced for the game last night, Jair Alexander and Aaron Donald both made the Pro Bowl. So congratulations to those guys. And Jair Alexander's like one of the best players in the league. I'm not like
at his job, right?
He's really good at his job. There's some of the stuff that he does outside of it.
I agree.
Give me a break.
Yeah, just get to the huddle, man. Yeah.
For me personally, and I've felt this way for years. This isn't just like a Johnny on the spot thing. If Jair Alexander would do himself a service to go watch, and I know Jalen Ramsey's not having a great year from a coverage standpoint. He's given up like seven touchdowns. He had a BS call against Christian Watson in the back of the end zone. Dude, I'm not saying that it wasn't a foul. I'm saying that wasn't a foul every other year, but this year.
Right.
But and we're Packers guys, but come on.
Yeah.
But the way that dude plays ball,
100%.
That is what the number one cornerback in the NFL, that's what that dude, that's who that guy is.
Yeah.
The way he stands up our 250-pound running back in the hole.
I was impressed.
The way that he makes tackle after tackle after tackle, the way he rips the ball out of Aaron Jones's hands, the way he's game for every single person that comes out there, dude.
Yeah.
That guy, him and Bobby Wagner on that team. If you want Quay Walker, if you want to learn how to play linebacker in the National Football League, I know you got Devondre Campbell. Go ahead and take a look at Bobby Wagner play football, dude. Exactly. Oh my God, he is good.
He was all over the place as usual. But to Jalen Ramsey, what you just said, I mean, to hold up, I say, you have nowhere to go in this season, and most guys check out when they're out the playoffs. But he's a guy coming up in the box, gets Aaron Jones, stands him up, and by himself he started the tackle and then he finished the tackle with a strip. That was the most impressive because of the effort. You know, a lot of players just would have got the hit tackle, take him down. He's like, no, I'm getting the ball out. You know, it's prototypical DB play. You know, you do drills in practice. Say, hey, when you got to run it back, try to stand him up, and then the second guy comes in and strips it out. I've seen that drill 1,000 times. But now he does the whole drill by himself on that play. He stands up Aaron Jones, holds him up, and then strips the balls out. And then, by the way, you know, like you said earlier in the game, tattoos AJ Dillon. You know, not veering away from contact, and he's just a gamer. Doesn't even one of them guys that's going to play the game regardless of the situation around their team.
I love watching that guy play. I love it. And we
too.
Talked about it last week, and we'll show it on the film, man. But like, it's not the reason that we like Richard Sherman. The reason that we like Jalen Ramsey. They're good coverage guys, but they're football players.
Yeah.
They're not one trick ponies.
No.
We talked about it last week. If you want to run the ball against these guys, go edge and go run against Ty Hill or Troy Hill.
Yeah.
What did they do last? Dude, you go against Troy Hill, he's just missing tackles. Misses tackles on a first down, misses tackles on Aaron Jones' swing pass for a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not about that life. He'll take a shot every once in a while if guys already held up. And it's not a knock on him. That's how most of the guys in the league are. That's what makes guys like Jalen Ramsey so special.
Right. Because the effort, it's just the effort level. You know, it's different stage.
That's why we love Rasul actually too, right? Like Rasul's about that life too. He's just the one thing you got to say that if we're being honest, like Rasul does, he is getting. It's because Jared's so good, but he gets a lot of attention and a lot of the first down. Like when they convert and stuff, it's like he's the guy they're converting on more often than not, right? And
right now,
yeah. It's probably a function of having Alexander, and they're probably like, I don't even want to mess with this guy.
Yeah,
because from a coverage standpoint,
so he's getting all the work right now, which he has. He just got to be aware of that and show up and do his job there.
Let's go some trench warfare, man. I want to start with the defense today. We'll show a little tape here, but I thought it was great that from the first series, Kenny Clark shows up, right? Splitting double teams for the tackle for loss. I think he got another one on third down or the following third down. Obviously, we talked about Preston and what a presence he's been. Jaron Reed, Devontae Wyatt got in the game and made some plays last night. And not only did he make plays, but it looks like it's starting to come. He's playing faster. The speed of a little bit faster. Quay Walker. Quay got in Troy. I think Aikman pointed out on TV last night. He's like, they've had a really hard time with Quay being able to take on blocks,
right?
Not shooting gaps, and he shot the gap. I'll show it on tape here in a minute.
Yeah, he did. Got a tackle for loss there.
Yeah, he shot the gap. Like, I'm not saying that's his first TFL all year, but it kind of almost feels like, man, we haven't seen that. We haven't seen him do that.
Right.
Like, sniff it out, smell that space and just go for it and make the tackle for loss, because he's certainly capable with his quicks. Does a great job in coverage and range, and you see him get the sack yesterday. And actually the way they ran that thing, it couldn't have worked out better because they were running. They blocked everybody down. Enigbari was actually open as well. He was like so open. He thought the fullback coming across the ball was coming for him.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, I got to pick one of these guys. He should have just picked Enigbari and let Quay run by his up, because he was wide and actually probably did everybody a service there. But
yeah,
it's good to see those guys making plays. And again, those young guys coming in and doing things is a big deal. Yeah,
getting that time on the field, regardless of the situation, they're getting that now experience going against like we said, not a good offensive line defensively or offensively, but something where you still getting reps in, and those reps will count towards your development as a player, because you stick to your disciplines, you stick to your rule, gap integrity, you do those things, and then the plays that can be big plays for yourself. That's what we saw happen in this game against the Rams.
And 5 sacks is 5 sacks. And some of them are on play action, some of them are on drop back. Sometimes Baker had time, he didn't throw it. I mean, there's a lot, but if you get 5 sacks in a game, that's a big deal. It's the first time they've had 5 sacks all year in a game, right? So let's not dismiss. I know this is not a good offensive line. They talked about it last night. We've talked about it all year with the Rams. They're not very good.
It is. I mean, it's a
still
pro
pros.
Line. Yeah,
they're still pros. Baker Mayfield still number 1 pick in the draft. Like, all these things can be true simultaneously. You want to hit some of this tape?
Yeah, let's hit this tape. Let's watch what we viewed yesterday.
So first things first, Kenny Clark getting in here, man. You got to love it. You see him split the team. And again, we always talk about it. Like, if you attack one guy or attack that gap, he actually does a great job of turning that left guard's shoulders. I don't have the end zone copy on this week.
But you can see his hips starting to turn already.
Yeah.
And that's good leverage on both of them.
He's slicing and then just comes off, makes the play. I love seeing this stuff from him because it's what he's capable of. And one thing that you got to talk about with good players too is like good players should take advantage of bad players in the National Football League.
100%.
Like if you know the guy in front of you is not at your level, like it's your responsibility to the team to destroy that person.
To show it, as they say, expose him or that players is your job. Yeah. When I, facing linebackers, facing DBs downfield, or even defensive tackles in the middle, if they weren't prepared with me running through the gap, then I'll make them pay for it. Because I know if they caught me where I was kind of off my game, they will make me pay for it. So that's just part of the game as a professional. And it's more of a respect thing. I would take it as respect because then that's making me realize with them showing me out in a way, I need to get paying attention and get my awareness up, because he just owned me on that play. I need to figure it out and get it right for the next play.
I always remember because it's really intimate with the offensive line, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And so you remember Corey Williams? We picked up Corey Williams, defensive tackle. So Mike and I used to. Corey Williams was a scout team. At one point, he was a scout team defensive tackle between Flanagan and I.
Yeah.
And we would just beat the ever living hell out of that guy every single day. And I'll never forget, man. Like he came up to, first of all, he became a great player.
Yep.
Then he got paid by the Lions. And I'll never forget, man. I was up in Detroit walking off the field. He came over and he's like, "Hey, man, I want to tell you something. I appreciate that you didn't ever take it easy on me." He's like, because now it's like life is good. You know what I mean? And that's and that's what is expected, right? The expectation is you just always are giving your best, regardless of who it is, because that's how you improve everyone around you.
Exactly. Being a good teammate, making them better.
So we see Preston's first sack. We'll show you because I love. They showed the end zone in this.
Raven. That's around Raven. Was it Raven's Claw or whatever?
I think that's Harry Potter. Havenstein.
Yeah. Raven. I knew it was something. I knew it had a V in it. I knew that much.
Raven's Claw. Hold on a second. You got me, bro. All right. So first of all, Havenstein opens up in 2-1-2, and he's already turned to the sideline. You see, that's a problem. Yep. But then, dude, look at your guy in the backfield.
He's looking the other way for one. It's probably his blitz responsibilities, but he should be more in behind 63 instead of on the 79's inside hip, because he's not going to be a help at all. So he just needs to get his body over just a little bit, but let it roll.
So Havenstein's already decided he's going to give up the upside here to Preston, and then he gets the wipe up, bump, out, sack. And so here's what happens. Like it dismisses that Havenstein got beat, because he got beat on that.
Yeah, he's already beat.
And then he gets back in you get back to the sideline. You're like, coach is like, "What the hell happened?" He's like, "Damn running back, pick me, coach. What do you want me to do?" And to prove that he learned nothing, watch the second quarter.
Right.
Because I'm going to tell you something right now. This one was way worse, even though he didn't get the sack. Look at this play.
He's like almost standing straight up. Out of his stance right there.
Wipe, spin back in. Dude, look at this guy on all fours over there doing the downward dog, man. Like, that is a bad position to be in.
Yes, it is. I mean, that's the cause of the growing stretch. I was like, man.
That's exactly what it is, bro. Let's watch this again.
So he's standing. Go ahead. Standing straight up. Like, I'm a blocker. I've blocked before. So standing straight up, that's the first problem there. He's not extended. He's not, bending at the hips or the knees. And then now he's just really at whatever Preston decides to do, where he throws in a spin move coming up here. So being high and not bent in the hips keeps him off balance. And then that off balance leads to him slipping and falling and on all fours in the offensive backfield for the Rams, which is not a good spot for your starting tackle there.
Yeah. If you're ever, I'll just tell you from firsthand experience, if you're ever in this position, you might as well just walk your ass to the sideline, man. Because there ain't nothing good about to happen.
That's a bad play right there.
That could have been to the house right there.
Right, it could have been too. Quay did a good job reacting. Maybe on that play, so he's starting to learn something. Being an outside linebacker for them.
So hey, walk us through this. This is Quay shooting the gap here.
All right. So I remember a few weeks ago we were talking about the Lions line, the young linebacker shooting the gap on instinct, and now Quay. That's what you need to be. That's what you need to see next for the rest of next season. in his second year, this is what we need to see. When he sees ball action and he sees the running back get the ball, regardless, I say really get them the ball, be in that gap right there. Because once you make the read, and if this was play action, okay, you get stuck in there, but then bail out of there. Find your next guy, the guy crossing your face or a guy that may be behind you if it's play action, but this is not. So then shoot that gap, does a great job avoiding the blockers, guard tackle in here. I'm not sure I didn't get a chance to see if he used hands or not, but he was able to get around him real fast and make a big play in the backfield.
Yeah, he can just shoot here because everyone's running this play now. You're either pulling the backside guard, backside tackle, or you're pulling the backside guard and you're leading through with the backside tight end or the guy who's hipped off from the weak side tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And so all he's doing right here, this is like linebacker 101, but you have to be able, you have to have the speed. Like I can't do this, but linebacker 101 is follow the puller, right?
Yep.
You just get in the hip pocket of the puller. That's all he's doing. Now you have to be a special athlete to be able to have the speed to do that. Like again, I can't do that. You could do this though, but you got to see it and you just got to go. And he just goes right through. 68 is trying to hinge on the backside of Enagbari, and then he sees him late. But like by that time, the show's over, man. If you didn't close down to the center, if you didn't close down that B gap, he's going to run right through. You're not going to make that play. He's too good of an athlete. But great to see him shoot this gap because like we talked about earlier, man, it feels like it's been weeks and weeks and weeks where we're like, dude, just start making plays in the hole behind the line of scrimmage. You're too good an athlete.
He has the ability. I remember, so back in our time, I've seen Urlacher do that a few times because they were getting B across the head with that power, and he ended up shooting backside A gap and getting me in the backfield for either a tackle for loss. And I remember one at Lambeau, he was able to get the ball stripped out of me. I was like, oh no. So definitely, I understand this, but good job by Quay learning now from the mistakes he's learned from what the mistakes he's had earlier in the season.
And I just wanted to highlight Preston. This is the exact same play from the end zone. So we've talked about that box technique where everybody's getting blown out, and it's happening all across the league. Like every guy that we know is like, why are people keep doing this? Why aren't they going same foot, same shoulder? Why aren't they striking opposite? Whatever. Mm-hmm. Why are we boxing in? Watch how Preston handles this. Right? Oh, you're gonna run at me. This is where the hole is. Okay, I'll take care of that. And just dumps everybody right there. Running back has nowhere to go. They're cutting you.
It's
you can
muddled
cut them.
up.
Yeah, this isn't one of those low block from the cornerback. Like you're in the box right now. You can go low and take this guy out, create the pile, and all of a sudden, running back has to stop his feet in the middle of the in the backfield.
Yep.
And you got a guy like Quay coming backside, man. The show's over.
And then also with that, it's all muddled up, and you have Adrian Amos and Rasul Douglas right there. You have
two references to the comic books, bro. Ra's al Ghul, Batman. I know. I know that one. Harry Potter and Batman.
I said, yeah.
Comic-Con's got to be coming up, huh?
No, I still got to the summer on that. Till June. All right, let's get the offense going there. But yeah, good job by Preston. Because like I said, you want to muck things up. You want to muddle things up to where Cam Akers, he was having a good night. That play right there slows them down, and it sends a message to other teams of what may be the options they got to deal with Preston Smith defending him.
There's something we were talking about Jalen Ramsey, but let's talk about Preston. I mean, one of the things that we love is it's not like just that you're out there making the play. It's how you make it. Like that's a physical play. You know what I mean? That play when that guard comes, I'm just telling you from experience. You know this too. Like when the guard comes again and he just got took out and did like a somersault in the air, you're thinking about like, oh, dude, is he going to take my knees out? Like your life changes because you start thinking about your future or whatever. Or like in my case, it's like, oh, dude, now I'm going to try to tear this dude's helmet off because he's trying to take a shot on me.
Correct.
But regardless of if you're not thinking about doing your job, you're thinking about getting injured or thinking about hurting the other guy, it takes away, but it really helps your team as far as like the confidence level of your team. Yeah, confidence level just goes up.
Yep. Because now that player has to hesitate to think about, okay, when I come around, I might see this, and it'd be the cut block again, or the take him high this time. But now he's at the dismay of the defensive end, Preston Smith, in that situation there.
So the Packers offense of the tape, man. Let's just do a real quick recap. I thought there were some great holes on the outside that we talked about. You can attack the edges on these guys. It was interesting. They played 97. Michael Hoyt or Hawk or whatever out on the edge against Zach Tom, and he had some success. I think he had a sack and a half or so he had a sack and a half. He had a sack, and then him and
Michael Hoyt. Yeah, Hoyt.
They combined for another one, and that was one of the calls. We'll have it on tape here. But Zach Tom got muscled a little bit last night by a 305-pound defensive end, which is kind of to be expected. We didn't see a lot of the misdirection stuff, but we did see them attack the edges, knowing that like that's one of the guys we should be able to run against in space. Talking about Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon now, ran it on the toss, ran it on a couple of the keeps, so that was nice to see. You look at Aaron's numbers, and
Aaron Jones or
Aaron Rodgers, 22 for 30, 207, touchdown and a pick. Allen Lazard pick, miscommunication, but really like that's to me that's an Aaron that was an Aaron problem, not an Allen Lazard problem.
Yeah.
But for rushing standpoint, we ran the ball 35 times.
Awesome.
So it's not the numbers aren't great. Like we averaged under 4 yards a carry, 138 yards. Jones had 90 yards for 5.3, but AJ, I know he went to concussion protocol early in the second quarter, I think, but he only had 36 yards for like a 3.3 average, but he had those 2 touchdowns.
Those 2 touchdowns on top of that. It just says this is the identity we've been talking about.
It's not the numbers, it's the process, right? It's not the end game, it's the process that matters.
Yeah, okay. We have the numbers there to then now we can do 30 plus plays running the ball. This is what's going to be the result of. And now you send a message to all the upcoming teams, so this is something that once you go in the off season, if they go to playoffs, great. If not, but this is a note you put on I'm a highlight as a run coordinator, run coach, running backs coach, to say, hey coach, look what we did. This is the number we got to go for in 2023, with that run game and the pass flip to make sure we have that balance.
One thing that you notice in a number of the drives actually, and I know AJ had 2 rushing touchdowns, but at least the second one was off of the fact that on 3rd and 6, they throw an incomplete pass and they get Jalen Ramsey gets that call.
Yeah.
And then they run the ball twice and he gets in after Jalen Ramsey stands him up in the 2-yard line. But the Packers still, it's like they get all the way down there running the ball or, running the ball, doing some quick passes. And then it's like, we got to get down there. It's like, I feel like I'm watching that movie Varsity Blues where like they don't want to give the running back the ball at the 2-yard line, dude. And they're like trying to throw it in. I'm like, dude, just give him the ball. He got all the way down there. And I know he did have those too, but it does feel like there's on the first drive where we had where we had the field goal. It's like, give him the ball, bro. Just get goal to goal. They put that stat up. Packers worst team in football with first and goal to go. The worst team in football as far as percentage scoring. And then it's like, they passed the ball a couple times, kick a field goal again. Like, here we, and then they did it again the start of the game in the 3rd quarter.
Right.
And luckily we got the penalty to give us another first down and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, we get all the way down there, man. They do the hard work. It's like, what was that guy's name in that movie, Varsity Blues? Like, what, you guys don't like him or what? You don't want him to score a touchdown?
The running back, I think it was Wendell. It was
Wendell. Y'all don't want it was the kid from Dawson's Creek. Y'all don't want Wendell to score a touchdown? What's wrong? Whatever. He's like,
I met that actor. The actor that played the running back. I was out in Cali one year when right after that movie came out, and one of my friends was hanging out, and they said, "Hey man, we got my homeboy coming over." You know what? It was it was the running back that was in Varsity Blues. I'm like, oh, okay. And I met him. He was legit. He was in good shape, So I'm like, oh, what's up, man? Pretty cool.
One thing that happened against the offensive line for the Packers last night, they have some good, like Greg Gaines is a good player. They have some good players.
Yes.
But they don't have the good player. Donald's not playing. So what they have to do is they have to start slanting and moving around. They're blitzing linebackers. They have run blitzes. They have pass blitzes. But what they're trying to do is
stunt game.
Yeah, they're trying to run those slants and those stunts. And sometimes you get caught. And then sometimes if you're doing pin and pull stuff where you're down blocking, you're pulling guys out, you're running the guard tackle pull to the backside on the counter, or you're running the guard and the tight end on the backside of the counter, or like we used to call stutter to the open side. Like it's all you can eat because there's nowhere once you either get washed or if you're coming back to a guy that's down blocking, that's not really a big deal anymore. So that's how teams are answering, and it's like feast or famine. Every once in a while you make a play in the backfield, but you see there was some big holes last night if we go to tape here, because very simply, like you can't hold up playing dishonest football. That's not dishonest. It's not me trying to beat you. That's me trying to like guess it. Yeah, cheat a gap or like guess that I'm going to be right this one time.
Exactly. And like in the same for runners running, those counters, those stutters that we talking about that we did, you can't cheat either running the ball there and try to think I'm going to go every now and then, once we got good at running stutter and power, I could cut backside A gap.
Every once in a while, because the nose tackle was trying to play over the center.
Exactly.
Right.
So what I remember Sylvester used to say it was it's fool's gold. AG, don't go back there. It's fool's gold. It looks good because you see nobody there, but somebody's going to show up because if they're playing discipline to the cutback lanes, then you got a backside linebacker or even a corner sitting there in cover 2 waiting for you. So be careful of that cutback.
I'm going to tell you something that you'll love. So I'm sitting in Carolina my first year there, and
Okay.
we can't. It's just you don't have we have Steve Smith catching a hitch and taking an 80. That's our offense.
All right.
Run the ball. We have Steven Davis. He's on his last leg. We have Deshaun Foster. They're good players.
Very
we still haven't figured it out, right? And so one time, Jeff Mitchell, our center, gets beat over the top, and Steven Davis takes the power out the backside. That literally became
a play.
That was the play. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like we had power and another play. That was power was now. Okay, we're just going to assume the center's going to get beat backside, and Steven, we're going to take you backside A gap. You're going to run, you're going to follow Mike, and then the last minute you're going to cut backs. That was the play. And first of all, you're telling a runner like
where to go. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah,
on a read like that. But then I was like, you guys are assuming he's going to lose every play. That's what we predicated this on.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's literally what we did. For digressing, but geez,
yes. Oh my goodness.
Okay. First play here. Listen, Mercedes Lewis, good on good. Mercedes on Bobby. We like that. We're running the same play that we just saw with the guard and the tight end coming backside. Aaron Jones is following it through. We got Mercedes Lewis coming down to block Bobby Wagner. We're getting good on good there. And then you see Leonard Floyd, 54 here. Lit up. Now he's using that same box technique.
Yeah, he's trying to keep the outside arm open. He's trying to here.
But if he kept the outside arm open, you see what I'm saying? When I say box, I mean he's keeping his chest towards the football.
Yes.
Versus if your chest is towards the end zone and you just go same foot, same shoulder, you can close down this gap and hit. Yeah. And now you have this outside hand open in case he wants to bounce. When he's closed down like this, like let's just imagine that Aaron Jones makes a hard right here. Mm-hmm. Floyd ain't catching him because now Floyd's got to go from where I'm pointed here. AG, all the way back here.
Yeah.
Jason, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
I see what you mean.
When you make a box, and so box play right here, this is easy for a tight end, a guard, a tackle to push this guy out. If I'm running at you and you just stand like this, I'm like, oh, you just made my life really, really easy. I'll put my helmet onto your helmet, my hands inside, I'll just push you out, and we get these big old plays, man, because that's just a big old gap. That's an easy ask for an offensive lineman or a tight end when they're pulling.
Yeah, you see Jalen Ramsey in there sticking his head in there too.
Exact same thing now, except for we have Davis going down on the backside tackle. This is an open-ended play. So Floyd again is playing that box and getting kicked out, and then we just have Tunyon
on Wags.
Tunyon on Wags, give him a little something.
Ooh, let's see. I didn't see this, but
he got lifted up. It's fine.
Okay.
I mean, Bobby Wagner's a Hall of Famer, but he blocked him. That's all.
He got in the way in the proper way too. That's all. That was it wasn't just like he went in and dropped to his legs. He actually made movement because he got in his way the proper way. There's a way to block without really giving a full effort or just not with the great technique. By getting in his way this way, having his back to Aaron, that gives me a cut. That gives Aaron a lane. They're like, okay, I could go to his left. I got to keep it skinny because I see Christian Watson blocking the guy too, but I got to go skinny right up that gap, which he does. He hits it fast and low. So good job there by Tunyon. And I say good job by Aaron Jones seeing the crease.
It's too bad we can't see the end zone copy because you could just see where Tunyon, Davis, and I think this is Watson, their blocks. There must just be this wide open lane there. You know what I mean? I bet you could drive a bus through that damn lane. It looks great from this angle.
Exactly. Just enough space. And when you have a good running back like Aaron Jones, that's all you need. Just give him a little bit of space. That's it.
Okay, this is something for fans. I don't know if you're interested in this or not, man, but I just like this is kind of stuff.
I am.
They always talk to you about, okay, if you've got two guys clumped together in a like a 2x2, if you are playing DBs, if you are playing foot to foot, even with each other, they're gonna probably do some sort of switch release. And when you do that, you could just see watch 24 here on the inside. They're going to switch release, but because you guys are on the same level, we talked about this with the Packers weeks ago, where if you're on different levels, it's easy to adjust. If you're like this, you have no idea what's going on, And watch 24 here. This is against Cobb on the outside. He immediately steps in. Cobb has leverage now. Game's over.
Yep.
Right. It was just that's how subtle it is when you when you're playing in the National Football League. You take those steps
pros.
inside. Yeah. When you take those steps inside because of the switch and you're playing on the same level, so you don't know what your guy's doing, you got automatic problems. Easy pitch and catch for guys who've been playing together for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's good football, man.
Yeah, take advantage of that. Yeah.
Now, this is one of those plays I believe was a penalty, but you see Tom on engagement here, and then EJ actually has a hard time with 92. You see Tom on engagement is just up a little high, and this is what we talk about. With Zach Tom's got a lot of good qualities, but one thing he's going to have to learn is get a little lead at his pencil, anchor down a little bit more. But certainly even engaging in this kind of position just makes it really, really difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And I know last night –
he's going backpedaling is a tough way to try to get that a blocking position. And I say blocking dominance when you're going backwards too fast.
And this is I think we gave up 3 sacks, but this would have been the 4th, but I think there was a penalty against it. Leonard Floyd, it was crazy last night. I don't think I put Leonard Floyd on here against Josh. He honestly doesn't win very often since Aaron Donald's been out. Like when I have to scout him for other guys in the league, I just set square, sit on it. Like there's not a lot of stuff he can do. He's really not that big. He doesn't have a lot of lead in his pencil. He's a quick rusher if he gets on your edge. I was actually really surprised, given how well Josh has played against some other players, that he struggled like he did last night against Leonard Floyd. But it's literally all about if you don't set right, if you set out too much, it's just it's hard to win in this league.
Yeah.
And
that's against average talent, so you got to make sure you're on your game.
This is what you got to love about this is what we talk about Jalen Ramsey, man. And I know this is a Packers podcast, but you got to appreciate this guy, dude. Like,
oh yeah, when they play, I'll watch him because I like the effort out of him. He's gonna be a pro.
Look at this. That's 250 on 185 or 190.
Right. Stands him up.
Man.
Brings the hip slow. I mean, and it was he lost I would be just like that after that play. Because when he made contact, if you watch, from the time he hit him, he didn't go backwards.
He didn't go backwards.
He did not go backwards. He stood his ground, and then here come his teammates. Here comes
it's body mechanics.
Yep.
Everyone thinks it's like, oh, wait. No, it's body mechanics. At some point, it's going to be size.
Yeah.
But when your body mechanics right, if I hit strike same foot, same shoulder, and I have that I have that line through the ground into that shoulder.
Yeah, he's going everything.
It is tough to move a guy out of his spot.
And
that's great tackle.
And this is where people ask you the question, because I've been asked when I hit a D lineman one time, how much you weigh? I was like, I weigh 225 or 220. He said, man, no, you felt like you weighed 250 or 260. I'm like, well, I was in a position to see you coming. I got ready to hit you. So
how much power can you generate in that moment, right? That's
6-inch punch. 6-inch punch, baby.
So this is the other thing we talked about in the preview last week was, hey man, let's run on Troy Hill.
Right.
Let's put him in a position where he has to make a play. I think this is Tunyon on the first down play.
Yeah.
We'll play for the first down. Excuse me. Yeah, we go out, and it's like those little things like that. Those add up, man. First down, he could have caught him behind the line of scrimmage. Adrian Amos had the exact same play.
Yeah.
Right. Shot through, made the tackle, and they go back 3 yards. We get a first down. I think I got one more here. Yeah, on the swing here with Aaron Jones. And you see here, man, like these aren't easy plays, right?
No.
You see the end of this, bro. Like, did he even make a play on the ball there?
He got, I think he touched Aaron on his knee.
Yeah.
Because he broke down and he's already over his heels or over his toes. So he's out of position there. And he gets kind of roughed or muddled up in Christian's block. Instead of staying back and staying square and moving his feet, he gets caught up in Christian's block, and this is where he's at a disadvantage with Aaron Jones going full speed. You're not going to slow that down. Even though he's not a big back, you're not going to slow him down.
Christian Watson does a great job of blocking here, but conversely, if you're the guy that's on Christian Watson, you're not going to win that block. Did you get your butt to the sideline because you make it clear for everybody else? Mm-hmm. Right? So he kind of just like he doesn't do his job. He gets beat back. Christian Watson does a great job on this. Yep. But as far as the next guy, this is as advantageous as it could possibly be because it forces him back into the field. And Troy Hill's got a player. This is like when you and I are watching tape and we break down stuff in the preview. Mm-hmm. This is what kind of gets us excited. We see this, we go, oh, this guy's not about that life. Yeah. And sure enough, like it's all over this tape. Like he doesn't make plays in the run game. He doesn't
He
come
didn't
up and
want
make
it.
those plays. Yeah, he doesn't want any part of that.
He didn't want no part of that. He wasn't
is the-
prepared for it.
This is the last one. Under center play action pass. And when you're running the ball effectively, when you can run the ball from this formation, it just has a crippling effect on the defense. You see both linebackers get completely sucked up.
Mhm.
You see that the free safety is opening to the field now, and you're going to see here in a second that this guy opens with his butt to the sideline. There just couldn't be any more room to play pitch and catch with, the 4-time MVP here. Look at the amount of space he catches this ball with, man. I mean, that's what dreams are made of.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. As everybody's biting on the run, because now the run action is working. The run game is established. So you got the linebackers, you got the linebackers respecting the run, and you got the DBs, especially the safety. I mean, he's probably playing his coverage, but has to say to yourself, okay, this formation, this is the concept that could come my way. I might have an in-breaking route. I know my responsibilities here, but just be smart enough to know where, from down and distance, understanding, okay, they want to get a first down. If they try to push me out up where he went, I might want to try to, not cheat it, but make sure I make some awareness to be down on that route just in case it comes over the middle.
This is the problem with playing. They were playing like cover 2, right? This is the problem with playing cover 2.
Because he had to get back to that second half.
Yeah, if your linebackers get sucked up, man, there's just literally nobody in the middle. Because what happens in cover 2, generally speaking, is one of the linebackers has to take the middle quarter of the field.
And that's when you look back. That's where Derrick Brooks made it famous, because he could take the deep. So you had the two linebackers, but he was the one linebacker that basically took the middle, almost like another inverted cover 3. Because then you have somebody in the middle of the field. So real quick, Fred Henry, thank you for that compliment, and also Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to yourself as well. So we're getting on the Monday morning quarterback time. Ooh, yeah, it's some interesting stuff.
So we got some playoff scenarios. Let's just figure it out. First of all, we open up at -6
against
the Dolphins.
Against the Dolphins, okay.
Now, the Dolphins, I think they dropped 3 straight.
They're struggling.
Imagine, I watch a ton of their stuff, man. They we're going to preview them on Thursday, but I'm just telling you, AG, and you know this.
Right.
If Tyreek Hill's not the MVP of the league, it's just because the last 3 games, he's only making plays off fumbles, stacking guys in free releases.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It is insane what this guy's able to do. Jalen Waddle, same situation. What everybody's kind of found out is there's some different ways you can get into his head a little bit, get into his line of sight. The Chargers had
disrupt the timing of the route. Disrupt the timing. Yep.
The Bills didn't really do it at all, which was surprising. They did
in other games.
Yeah, but the Chargers did a great job of doing it. We'll show some of that.
Fantastic job.
So the Packers sit at number 10. They're 6-8, 1 game behind the Seahawks, 1 game behind the Lions, both at 7-7. And then there's another team. I think the Commanders are like a game and a half or 2 games behind. Okay, so they got to win out. There's a bunch of different stuff that has to happen. I think it lined up pretty well. But realistically, one would say that if you can beat the Dolphins, which is a 6-point under, that's a big number, even though you're in Miami. And then you got 2 games at home. I mean, I don't know, AG, how do you see this? How do you see this playing out? Let's just, first of all, do you think they have a chance against the Dolphins and that offense?
I'll say with the struggle right now, unless the Dolphins don't make their adjustments, because right now teams are just basically taking away Tyreek and then disrupting Tua's timing out of the backfield when he turns his back on play action or things like that. They're actually getting pressure to him, making him second guess and then adjust on his own during the game or during the play. So if they do that, that's where they'll have the recipe to win. And again, do their thing offensively, establish the run, keep the mistakes down, and do what they did in this game. Get the ball downfield, get the ball in the end zone, but then don't go away from the run game at all. You got to keep that in. They do that. That's the first notch. They get that win. And then the 2 rivalry games coming up in divisional round. You got Vikings on New Year's or Christmas or New Year's, and then Detroit after that. So those 2 games there, I say, like I said it last week, is those games should be the easiest to play because they're divisional matchups. You know them very well. They know you very well. Now it's just lay it out. Lay it out on the line. We already know what to do to prepare for them. But after that, it just see who's going to have more heart because we already know the Lions are going to have some heart. We already see them play out every game. Now they have the heart along with the discipline to win games. Now it's going to be that same question to ask the Packers offense and defense. And then Vikings is like, who we're going to get, because right now they're Jekyll and Hyde. They did something really special. To only hold a team to not only give up 33 points, but then hold a team to only 3 points, win in overtime, and win by 3. So they broke some records there. But that's a big old exclamation point. Like, look what can happen. Long as we don't give them nothing, you give them no life. If we get up on them, we create problems for Kirk Cousins, which that is easy to do. We could get that game too. So it's all some gut checks coming up in the next couple of weeks. And for Tua, what the recipe is, like I said, take away Tyreek Hill and see what he can do with the other receivers. He still will have Jaden Waddle, but make him work for it. Make him.
And Raheem Mostert can run. I mean,
honestly,
they got a lot of weapons, man. It's nuts. But we'll see it on Thursday. But bro, Bradley Chubb, Melvin Ingram.
That's right. He's there now too.
Melvin Ingram, who's one of the most underrated pass rushers of the last 8 years.
He's the one that's been bouncing around, right? He was with KC.
Melvin Ingram, yeah, but
San Diego
from the Chargers. From
the Chargers. Yep.
But then they got this kid Jalen Phillips. He was a first-round pick last year.
Yeah, number 15. He's a big kid.
He is, and
Agile,
then they got
dynamic.
Christian Wilkins. Oh, by the way, dude, they are up front. If you get into a situation where you got to pass the ball,
that's a problem.
They are. I'm just saying they're
so
really,
that's what the Packers offensive line got to be fully aware of going into this game, and we're in Miami.
Bro, you better run that. I'm just telling you. When they bring in all 3 of them,
it's a problem. I've seen it. I watched those Miami games when it's like, oh my god, they got some athletes over there. Ooh.
All right, I got some get off my lawns. Like we got to talk about the first one. AG refs. We talked about it a little bit already. 2 involved.
Yep.
2 involved.
I agree.
You think this game was bad? Like, if I was a Rams fan, I would be furious after last night. I'm not because of the Packers. I'd be furious because everybody was awful. However, the Washington Commanders, Terry McLaurin.
McCarron. Yeah.
Okay, McLaren.
The PI. Yes.
No. Okay, the PI was awful. But to get there, the PI was awful. But to get there, they had to do that. Did you see where he checked with the ref on the hey, am I on the line?
Yes, and he still got called offside.
And they have it on tape. Like, you can't hide. And as of this moment, there's no explanation. And that dude handled it so professionally. He's like, I don't want to get fined. I don't know. I just told him. He said I was on. He said I was good. I gave him a thumbs up. Like, I do every single play.
That is the wide receiver.
It's a damn shame that we have to do this every week.
It is. I mean, that is the wide receiver, the normal thing they do. As soon as they get on there, they look to the referee, they point at him, and the referee says, "You're good," or say, "Hey, you need to get back, or you need to move up a little." They'll help you adjust in those 2 seconds. When you look at the referee, they'll go, move in, you're good. Okay, boom, right there. And to have that still, and I agree with you. To handle that, I think any other player. Like a TO, he would have lost it. He might have lost it. Like, you referee, you told me I was set. You gonna throw my god.
Yeah, it's tough to watch. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that was tough to watch this week, but that was just you just don't want it. You don't want the ref. If you never hear the referee's name, that means they did a good job that day. It's like offensive lineman.
And I'm gonna digress here. So we're talking about penalties.
Yep.
So what was your reaction to all the penalties during World Cup? The last 2 games, the 3rd place game and the final. Because there was some stuff that was questionable, and I heard comments from the players
in the final. So I know in the final that France, whoever loses is more angry.
Yes. I saw that. I heard that.
That was I didn't think the penalties. Let me say this: the French. The game France versus Argentina was the most entertaining sporting event I 100%. Have seen in a long time, and it's not even close. And that was
top dollar for that.
Yes. That was 2 of the best. The Mbappe scissor kick goal, and the build-up goal with the 5-1 touch passes from Argentina. Those are 2 of the best goals you're going to see. Period. And then on top of all of it, you've got 2 of arguably the 5 best players of all time, one of them being only 23 years old. And Messi's got to be the greatest player of all time at this stage.
Yeah.
And then you have, on top of all of that, you've got all they bring out Di Maria, you take him out early, and all of a sudden Acuna comes in and they score 2 goals. You're going, oh my God, and you can't use him for penalties. The shootout. It was one of the most entertaining things I've seen. From a referee standpoint, I actually thought they did a pretty good job. I really liked the ref for that game. I didn't think as much of the Croatia third place game.
Yeah,
I thought the ref did a great job. I think it's natural for the opposing team to complain about the refereeing, but I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought I'd ask you because you're more into that. I'm learning, international soccer now, so I thought I'd ask the expert on that. So, hey, this next one, I just saw the video on.
Oh my God!
I saw the video.
Big Willie style.
Oh man, you can take it away, and I'll throw in my comments here.
So Willie McGinnis got arrested for Everybody knows Willie McGinnis, Patriots guy, NFL Network, and here's the other thing about Willie McGinnis. Willie McGinnis
a pillar.
He's not small,
no,
right? And so he hasn't lost any of his size. He's like 51, but he's still
grown ass man.
He's a big dude.
That's a big dude.
And
long arms. He could grab you from across the room.
Here's the thing that I didn't. That dude. I don't know what that dude did, but I hope he deserved it because boy, he got worked
something
over pretty bad.
Yes.
But they walked up into their restaurant in West Hollywood.
Woo!
Him and his crew walk up. He says something. This dude's like getting up to say. I don't know what the dude getting up to reach for his wallet. I don't know what the hell. And Willie McGinnis beat the brakes off this guy. No, that's not fair. Willie and like 4 friends beat the brakes off this guy. And it was horrific. I mean, can you imagine having dinner on a freaking Saturday night trying to hang out and 6'5", 265-pound Willie comes in with like 4 dudes and just starts beating the brakes off the dude right next to you?
Before they get to the table, like I don't sit my back to the front door at a restaurant. Let's just start there first. Any restaurant and I'm in the back, I'm facing the front door. So first off, I'm gonna see them coming. By the time they get to my table, I'm standing up to say to myself, okay, which one I'm taking out first? One of them is gonna get it. But when I saw him walk up and the guy had his back turned, he doesn't know he's in his face until he's in his face. And you see Willie kind of get down, stoop down, and talk to him. So that told me this was something that already happened. He said or did something to Willie or one of his boys.
That has to be an act. There was an action there.
It was an action to bring them in. And so Willie was like, I could sense the way he was talking to him, like, oh, what's up now? Like,
he hit him with a bottle.
Was that a bottle? I thought he hit him with his fist or something.
Oh, no, he did. But then he hit him with a bottle. Like he picked up a bottle, hit him with a bottle.
Hey, I just know Willie went to Long Beach Poly High School, same high school as Snoop Dogg. So he knows some people. Okay, he's about that life.
Okay, let me tell you I'm going to give you a funny Willie story. Now we're talking about Willie, okay?
Right.
All right, so Willie was like the tough guy in the Patriots locker room. Okay?
100%.
Except the problem was the Patriots signed Stephen Neal to play the right guard for him on the practice squad. Stephen Neal was the heavyweight Greco-Roman wrestling champion of the world.
Ooh.
Of the world, not WWE, the legit Greco-Roman wrestling champion. Gold medalist. Okay.
Got it.
So Willie's, as the story goes, and of course I've heard this.
So this is at Patriot camp.
It's a Patriot camp, and again, this is third hand. So as the story goes, Willie's egging him on and talking about, hey, the wrestling don't mean shit if I'm gonna hit you in the face.
Mm-hmm.
And Stephen Neal said, "I'll tell you what, Willie, I'll get on one leg if you can take me down. That would be something." And I guess. Because that's what wrestlers do. Evan Mathis used to do this to me.
Yeah.
And so they go after, he gets on one leg, goes after him. Stephen Neal's just knocking him around. And to the point, it doesn't go well for him, right?
Yeah, it doesn't go well for Willie.
Doesn't go well for Willie. So as the story goes, months later, they're going to the you had to do that luncheon in Green Bay. You had to do that luncheon during training camp.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame.
One of that's they're all kind of out
there.
Yeah, and something happened, but Willie said something that I guess he went over the line.
Correct.
And Stephen Neal got off the bus. The New England Patriots now. Bill Belichick got off the bus and was like, "Get out here! We're going right in front of the bus." and apparently it didn't. Apparently one person got off the bus and one person didn't. Apparently, I don't know. Again, you hear the story from reliable sources, but nonetheless.
Ooh, somebody got the smoke. Somebody got that smoke.
All right, we got. Let's skip. Real quick. There's this dude that does this thing with the Turkish guy, Salt Bay, the steak guy. He's trying to get pictures with everybody.
I wonder where that came from. I've been seeing it everywhere.
What a dickhead. But Messi, he tries to get it with Messi. Messi's like, yeah, you're nothing. Get out of here. So that's why Messi's a GOAT.
Of course.
But let's talk about this one, dude. Because the Pats lost in the least Patriots way possible.
Oh, the least professional
and it's like
football
the least
way.
I mean, AG, I don't even get to touch the ball. So you have to explain to me it's a tie ball game. They give Stevenson the ball. Okay. He takes off. It's not going to happen. Why does forget the other guy? Why does he pitch it? I don't understand why he pitches it.
No, it should have been no pitching. Get the ball, get what you can, hit the ground, go to overtime.
Right.
That should have been relayed from the quarterback to the coach, whoever's talking in the mic, to the quarterback. Or if he went to the sidelines, Matt Jones, get something from Belichick or whoever the OC is. I can't think of the OC there in New England. Okay, we're going to snap the ball. If he gets a few yards, fine. Down it. Go to OT. I've been in that situation. Right. I've never been in a situation where, we're going to play hacky sack rugby.
Not with a Belichick team. Jesus.
Exactly. It's like,
you think Rasul Douglas saw that play and thought, I have a great idea? Do you think
100%. No, I'll say 80%. 80% of him doing that, he saw that. 80% of it came in from him watching that. Because when he did it, I said, what? Everybody up in the suite lost it.
I don't know if they show it because you guys have replay. You have TVs, but you're probably all watching it live and whatever. So, but you can see. That moment when it happens in basketball, happens in soccer, where you see a pass and you see a good idea, and then something happens in the moment's pass, but you do it anyways. That was him. He was like, you saw he was going to flick it, and then somebody touched him or something else happened, and he was like, screw it, and just let it rip. And you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, I'm just like, I couldn't believe, because I was like, okay, the Raiders going to probably lose this game. I'm good.
If the Patriots lose that game, first of all, and then Mac Jones, bro, kick him, do anything.
Knock him down.
Chandler Jones stiff arms him all the way down to hell.
Yeah, he said hell.
Oh my God, man,
that was bad. That was bad.
Mac, kick him, bite his ankle, grab his wrist. You could do anything. I'm sure you were surprised. Wait, are they throwing me the ball back?
Because the good thing, you get a penalty there, game plays over.
It's over. Well, it's over. One play left. They kick a 50, 60-yard field. Anything, literally anything. But what a play!
Some great football. Just some crazy great.
It was fun. It was a fun weekend.
It was a fun weekend, man. Good job here today on the show, man. So we got a good week to talk about, previewing the Miami Dolphins game for Christmas Day. So we're going to wrap that up on Thursday, and I hope you have a great weekend. Mike, I know you have a good rest of the week. Oh, I need to tell you, I got some good news, I got new news. You're looking at the new lecturer / director at University of Nebraska esports program. So I got hired there now. So
congratulations, brother.
So
what does that mean? Are you moving?
We'll probably just get an apartment or maybe a small duplex or something there for now. We're still going to Texas. We're still coming south. Yep. So we're going to be double duty. And the good thing is my class, I'm just going to be getting orientation for about a month. So my class actually doesn't start till after spring break, which is March 20th.
Okay.
So I have that time to kind of get settled and all that stuff. But we're going to be doing orientation, new teacher, new orientation, new coach orientation, new faculty orientation for that month and a half before my classes start. But I've already met with the esports club president and some of the other people. I haven't met none of the players yet, but we have a lot more players at Lincoln than I did at Lakeland. I think it's around 50 or 60 players playing.
What?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I was like, okay, a player number is not a problem. 3 teams for most games. It's wow, we got an A team, B team, C team for 3-4 games that we play already. So it's just like, wow. Oh, okay. Man, it's crazy.
Now that you brought it up, now I gotta ask.
So
let's say I'm sitting at the ice cream parlor with my buddies, and I see a cute girl walk in, and I go up and I say hi, and she goes, "What do you do?" And you go, I'm the C team player on the Nebraska Call of Duty team. Like, she's like, C team?
See, good.
What? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Hey,
C team?
Yeah, baby, be about that life though. We're getting those headshots.
Man, congratulations. That's awesome. I didn't know you were going for that. That's big time.
Yeah, it came out. It just like in the last, it just kind of popped up. They were, because I talked to them, in the summer, but it wasn't 100%. So I kind of like, all right, if it happens, it happens. If it don't, I know where I'm going to be at for the next few years. But then it just literally in the last 2 days, 3 days here was something that popped up. It was tough talking to my players at Lakeland. That was a tough talk. Obviously letting them know the information, letting the faculty know too.
Give me the old Deion Sanders move. Hey, I wasn't going to die here.
No, I didn't go that route. No, he did it his way. I did it my way, So, but no, it was a tough talk, but it was a lot of good feedback from the players. They definitely, says things like, "Coach, we're going to miss you. Thank you for doing this for the last 3 years and, showing us how to become, better players." So hearing that from them was the ultimate feedback. But, now I'm already getting ready to get, going to my next spot. So just wanted to put that out there, let you know that, man.
Congratulations, bud. That is fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you. So with the show in it, so where you can find me is Amon Green 30 on one word on Twitter and Instagram. And then Gaming Lounge is on TikTok at Amon Green's Gamers Lounge and on YouTube here, Absolute Def. You're already on YouTube. You could go follow me, sub there as well. And Mike, let everybody know where they can find you at.
Yeah, MikeWall68 on Twitter, Process to Perform on Instagram, TikTok, MikeWall68. And then, of course, you can check this videos out on youtube.com/Process to Perform. We're going to have to start calling you Professor.
I am Professor.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, I am Professor.
Professor AG. You
could be like an X. You could be like an Professor Green. I didn't even think about that. You know what? I'm going to come up with something. I'm going to make a graphic and post it.
That would be dope. All right, let's get out of here, man.
All right,
Good
man.
show,
Talk
bud.
to you. Yep, great show. Talk to you soon.